We are back with a recap of Ohio State's win over Maryland by the score of 43-30. I would have liked to have done this yesterday, but things happened, and now I'm doing this right now. So before we get into some of the negative stuff that happened, how about Dallin Hayden? Mayan Williams injured. Travion Henderson, even maybe he's not 100%, or it just straight up wasn't working with him against Maryland. But either way, Dallin Hayden came in, and he was another stud running back that apparently Ohio State just finds sometimes. Last year it was Travion Henderson. This year it's been Mayan Williams. And if Travion Henderson isn't able to, either he looked not fully healthy, maybe he's not 100% yet, or again, maybe it just wasn't working in that particular game. We've seen more from him, again, especially last year when Travion Henderson looked like he was going to be the next Buckeye phenom. Just hasn't clicked this year, and also Mayan Williams has kind of taken his spot from him. But again, Dallin Hayden proved to be good enough for yesterday, and he was able to carry the Buckeyes running game that didn't really need carrying. The Buckeyes obviously doing a lot of their damage through the air as well, with C.J. Stroud and that wide receiving core led by Marvin Harrison Jr. It's crazy to think what this wide receiver group could have been with Jackson Smith-Njigba fully healthy. I feel like there might have been there's been some rushing to get him back on the field as soon as possible, and it seems like that has hurt this season in the long run because Jackson Smith-Njigba hasn't really played all that much. And I'm not saying it's his fault or anyone's fault, really. I don't blame anyone for wanting to get him out on the field as quickly as they can to try to see what they have in him, to try to prepare for later on in the season. But when maybe if you rush a guy back when maybe he could use another week of rest or something like that, it does maybe tend to aggravate some injuries. And, we've seen how this can play out. Maybe he comes back next year. Maybe he just goes to the draft and he gets drafted and he recovers from the injury and becomes the wide receiver that we saw last year in the Rose Bowl. But as far as Jackson Smith-Njigba goes, we haven't really seen a whole lot of that. The defense is what the big concern from this game. Obviously, the Buckeye offense put up, not the offense, because the offense put up 36 points. The Buckeyes getting that defensive touchdown late in the game where Maryland did have a chance to score and potentially take the lead. So good on the defense for stepping up in that clutch time and forcing that strip sack. And then it was a strip sack, but it could have been an interception too. Who knows? But anyway, the defense was concerning. The secondary was not great against Maryland. It seems that this Buckeye team kind of struggles when they play against a quarterback who can create, they can extend plays with their feet. They can make plays with their legs. And that is a bit of an issue heading up against Michigan, against J.J. McCarthy, although the Michigan seem to have their own issues against Illinois, which it involves a lack of Blake Corum, but again, that's in Michigan week, which I am kind of transitioning to, but I will kind of get my final thoughts on this Maryland game because there's not a ton besides the defense was not up to par. I know that Maryland can have a sneaky good offense and they can they have some nice pieces. But giving up 30 points and letting them stay in the game throughout the entire game is not what you want, especially for your final tune-up until Michigan. Although the last time Ohio State looked shoddy against Maryland, it turned out to be just fine in Michigan week. So who knows about that? But again, I feel like now that the Buckeyes got the win and they did ultimately keep their season going, because if you lose to Maryland, you probably don't recover that season. Even if you win the Michigan game in the Big Ten championship, the committee might look at that loss to Maryland, especially at this stage in the season, and say that you can't come in with that loss. But they did get it. They got it done eventually. They pulled it out by kind of the skin of their teeth. That final score, not really indicative of how close it truly was throughout the entire game. It was a back and forth affair, but they did get it done. And when you're going to Michigan in that rivalry week, and the game, you throw out the records, you throw out the past, you throw out your past games, you throw out how teams have been looking, and it's just rivalry week. So thank you all for watching. If you've made it this far, again, not too much to say on this game other than the defense needs to step it up, and now it's on to Michigan. Let me know if you liked the video. Leave a like and a subscribe if you did. Let me know if you have something to say down in the comments below, and I will see you at the next one.